I remember watching The Social Network back during my BSc studies. The Social Network movie was about actually Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg, who founded the Facebook. And the movie was really amazing in a way that it pushes you forward. It encourages you to start building your startup because it shows that you can build anything in a weekend, and you can be a rich person just by a crazy idea. It planted a clear startup dream inside my head for years. After finishing my studies, I imagined building my own company right away. I thought passion and hard work would surely be enough to succeed. That idea felt powerful, simple, and very convincing for a while. Like many people, I believed the story the movie told me. The film showed success happening overnight, and it felt very real. I wanted that feeling of freedom and big achievement for myself. But real life moves slower than any movie you watch. Real businesses need patience, time, and steady small wins. You can create your own startup, or you can build your business in a weekend, of course. But the problem is that it takes a lot longer to actually make money from that or to survive in that business. It takes months or even years to build an actual live business, not just turning your idea into something that doesn't make money. After my master's degree, I started working as a web developer at a company. I worked hard and learned a lot every single day on the job. About a year in, I began to feel frustrated and tired of being an employee. That old startup dream kept knocking at the back of my mind constantly. I started to confuse frustration with readiness, and suddenly I quit my job. Quitting because you are frustrated is very different from quitting with a solid plan. For a little while, quitting felt amazing and very freeing. Freedom always feels great until money stress arrives unexpectedly. If you quit without a runway, pressure will grow quickly and loudly. The truth was, I had no plan, no runway, and no structure to support me. At 25, mistakes felt affordable, and learning seemed cheap to me then. Time moves faster than you think, and costs add up in surprising ways. As people get older, the cost of mistakes often goes up exponentially. If you have a family or responsibilities, your risk tolerance changes quickly. You learn to take more deliberate steps and think more logically every day. In many cases, a bad job feeling comes from one or two fixable issues. Simple changes at work can reduce stress more than dramatic exits usually do. Adjustment and small experiments often beat big emotional decisions in the long run. Trendy, follow your passion posts show glamorous success and fast wins. They rarely show the quiet, slow failures that happen every day. Most people who quit impulsively do not make big success videos about their struggles. They usually work through difficulty in silence and without an audience. Belief in what you do matters, but belief alone does not pay any bills. Creative work is much harder when fear and money worries run your daily life. Momentum on social media and actual income are not the same thing at all. A lot of views can feel like validation, but seldom replace steady income. A dream without structure can quickly turn into anxiety instead of motivation. And based on my experience, in the beginning, you think that you're gonna do what you think, you're gonna build your startup really easy in a couple of months. But based on what I experienced is that the reality is completely different. There are a lot of factors, a lot of complexities, and usually it takes a lot longer than you think. Quitting too early often delays your dream rather than speeding it up. The smart move is to build slowly while protecting yourself financially. Having a steady job can actually help your dream if you use it wisely. A job provides predictable income that can fund experiments and learning time. Part-time work or a slow transition often works better than all-in quitting too soon. Financial runway gives you real creative freedom and room to breathe. Ideally, save 6 to 12 months of living expenses before making a risky leap. So based on my experience, the most important thing I want to tell you is that it's better to be prepared, to have some savings. If you have a job, stick to the job even if you don't like it, but in the side, try to come up with ideas. Try to build them step by step, and you understand along the way that, well, the idea is not that good that you thought in the beginning, or it's much harder to build this business. And that way you're safe enough to just go back to your daily job and make money and pay your rent and buy some food. Changing jobs is usually much easier than switching careers entirely, so do not confuse the two. You can update your resume, practice interviews, and find better roles while still employed. Prepare and test your ideas slowly instead of burning every bridge immediately. The goal is not to avoid risk, but to take a calculated and safer risk. Quitting your job should be a strategic move, not just an emotional reaction in the moment. Dreams get built through boring consistency, not dramatic exits and late-night breakdowns. When I share these lessons, I also share my real mistakes and the cost of learning them. I am a full-time developer today, and these videos are what I use to share what I learned and experienced. I do not want to stop dreaming about startups or side projects at all. I only want to suggest a different path that reduces unnecessary pain and keeps momentum intact. You can still chase your vision while paying rent and keeping your mental energy intact each month. Practical steps help a lot more than inspirational slogans do most days. Start by documenting the exact parts of your job that make you unhappy right now. Break the problem down into parts and try to fix one small part at a time. If a skill gap is what worries you, focus on learning that skill on evenings and weekends. If the team or manager is the issue, consider applying for a better role quietly while staying employed. Little wins stack up into big progress faster than dramatic resets ever will. Measure your progress with cold numbers and simple deadlines, not feelings alone. Ask how many customers you need or how many sales will cover 1 month of rent. Test the market before you quit with real experiments that cost little money. Build a minimum viable offer that people will actually pay for before you scale it further. When you launch small, you learn faster and waste far less time on ideas that fail early. Every small test teaches something valuable you can use the next week. If you do decide to quit, do it with dignity and a plan you can explain clearly. And for the final piece of advice, before quitting your job, try to keep your relationship with your colleagues, your boss, and try to let them know beforehand that you're leaving that business, that job. And I experienced it a couple of times that I wasn't really good with my boss, with my colleagues, with the HR, and I lost that job. I quit that job, and then I wanted to return, but there was no connection. But nowadays, for instance, for the previous job I left, I was really in a good relationship with everybody. And I guess at some point, if I want to come back to that company, it's much easier for me to do that. Money saved and relationships kept often make the comeback faster if a project stalls. Mistakes are part of the journey, and everyone will make them at some point. But preparing and protecting yourself reduces the pain of those mistakes significantly. Finally, remember that success stories online are highlights, not full stories. Real life has months and sometimes years of quiet work behind every win you see. If you are feeling stuck, pause and think in terms of steps rather than exits. Small changes can bring big results if you stick with them consistently every month. Learn from humble mistakes and not only from loud success stories, because humble lessons last longer. If this video helped even a little, I hope you use these ideas to make safer, smarter choices on your path.